Hi everyone, Mike here, and today I'm going to talk to you about using automations to make the letter of recommendation writing process easier. Because of the school I teach at and the students I teach there, I get a lot of requests for letters of recommendation, specifically early action letters. So every October, I have multiple high stakes parallel projects to take care of. As you can imagine, if you have watched any other videos on this channel, I am averting disaster and upholding my commitments through a combination of automation and task management. Be forewarned, this video is dense. There is a link in the description of this video to a blog post on my site where I link to many resources to help you implement a solution like this for yourself. And as always, there are timestamps to help you navigate the different sections of this video. With that being said, let me walk you through the automation chain that I have created to help me consistently hit these high stakes deadlines for my students while also modeling professional communication and behavior. So once I agree to the student's request, I kick off a shortcut. The shortcut asks for the student's first and last name, the date they need the letter by, and the student's email address. With those 4 pieces of information, Shortcuts goes to work. The first part is creating an OmniFocus project from a task paper template in Drafts. Shortcuts pulls the contents of the draft, does a search and replace on the variables, and does some date calculations based on the due date to space out the project's action items and build in a delivery buffer. The next section is about modeling professional communication with the student and making sure there's documentation about our agreement. I have Shortcuts do a simple date math calculation and then use that date and some of the variables from earlier to compose an email to the student. Shortcuts prepares the email for me to send. I give it a quick once over to make sure everything is correct and send it off. Then I have Shortcuts create a file in iCloud Drive. This plain text file is called LOR, and its only contents are the student's first and last name. This file exists for about 5 seconds. Its only job is to kick off a Keyboard Maestro macro via Hazel and AppleScript running on my Mac Mini. The macro's job is to create a folder titled with the student's name in my letter recommendation folder in Google Drive. There is another Hazel rule running on this letter recommendation folder, which goes into all of the students' individual subfolders and renames the files found there with the student's first and last name and the letters LOR. Running the rule this way means that I never have to update it. It always works on the folders inside of it. So even folders I haven't created yet will get properly automated in the future. This might seem silly unless you realize that I write the student's letter recommendation in drafts and then export that plain text file to their folder in Google Drive. Then I have to transfer that content to the school letterhead, which is a Word document template. So I have 2 files. Then I have to export that letterhead version to a PDF to upload it to my school's college application system. So I create 3 files for every student, each of a different file type. By using the automation on this folder to rename everything appropriately, I have a consistent naming structure and everything is easily findable and searchable in the future. Once I have uploaded and completed all of the elements required of me, I send an email to the student letting them know that I've completed my task. Since the upload process happens from my Mac, I generate the email via Keyboard Maestro. Coming full circle, the final automation in this process is triggered by one of the first. That OmniFocus project that I created at the very beginning has its final task as emailing the student about their letter recommendation upload. That task has a Keyboard Maestro URL trigger in the notes. Part of the search and replace function at the beginning of the shortcut also added the student's first name as a variable in this URL. When I click on the link, it automatically addresses the email with my pre-written message to the student in the Mail app. I type in their email, which auto-completes. I attach a screenshot of my upload confirmation and finish this project by sending the message. Multiple apps, devices, files, and emails later, I've completed the multi-step process for writing this letter. Since doing things this way, I have never missed a due date. I have always had time to fix any errors or technical glitches with the application system, and I have modeled professional communication and consistency with my students. In the end, these automations allow me to spend more time writing the letter and less time managing the letter writing process. To be clear, all of this started several years ago with a single Hazel rule. And with lessons learned from multiple stressful Octobers, grew into what I just showed you. Don't feel like you have to start with so many moving parts. Find one thing to automate and grow from there as you solidify your process. If you need to rewatch any part of this video, you can find timestamps in the video description below. As always, I hope this video helped you. And if it did, please consider liking, sharing, or subscribing. There will always be more content like this coming in the future.